Hello, Bronco fans and football fans alike. Welcome to Week 17 post-game between the Denver Broncos and the Las Vegas Raiders. This is Broncos Breakdown. I am your host, Bronco Bill. Well, before I get into the game and recapping it, there was some huge breaking news today out of Dove Valley at 3 o'clock Mountain Time, 2 o'clock Pacific Time, and here's the news. John Elway, according to a meeting between John Elway and Joe Ellis, they came to an agreement that John Elway will step aside from being the general manager of the Denver Broncos. He's done this for 10 years, and he has 1 year left on his contract, which takes him into the 2021 season. But anyways, he is stepping, or I shouldn't say stepping aside. Joe Ellis said that he has promoted John Elway to overseeing player personnel, but Elway will not be general manager or have any day-to-day involvement with the Denver Broncos and any hiring situation or anything to do with head coaching or anything in that area that a general manager has and does take over. That said, on another note, his right-hand man, Matt Russell, has decided to retire. Now, that was not divulged as to why he said he was retiring, but speculation has it that because Elway's not the general manager anymore, that Matt Russell did not want to work side by side with a new GM that he did not know. So Matt Russell is retiring. John Elway was promoted to overseeing player personnel and stripped, basically, or removed, I should say, from his general manager day-to-day role. 104.3 The Fan is also noting that John Elway, Vic Fangio, and Joe Ellis are going to have to come to an agreement as to who the new general manager is. Now, that's all well and good, but why is Fangio involved in this? He's only won 12 games or been the head coach of a team in 2 years that's only won 12 games. This year they were 5-11. 5-11, guys. And you're going to put him on the same panel with a Joe Ellis and a John Elway as to who to pick for a GM? Wow. I don't understand what's going on. I mean, I know the Broncos have to have new direction. I get that. Obviously, it hasn't worked since Peyton Manning retired and the Broncos won Super Bowl 50. Obviously, we've gone downhill since then. In fact, Fangio, being the head coach in his second year, lost more games this year than he did his first year as a rookie head coach. So I'm not sure exactly why he would be involved in a general manager. That also brings me to another point, which is is Drew Lock's stay in Denver in jeopardy now? Because you got to remember, John Elway drafted Drew Lock, and basically John Elway had. Well, I say had now because he's not in charge of GM anymore. John Elway had Drew Lock's back. But since he's not involved in every day-to-day situations and does not control that position of hiring and drafting and keeping people in place as to their current position, Drew Lock may not be here next year, guys. Suppose a new GM comes in. Let's say a GM, and by the way, there are 7 general manager openings in the National Football League as of today. Today is January 4th, the end of the 2020 season of football. And there are seven general managers that have been relieved of their duty or fired or retired or whatever. But there's 7 positions open. So that means the Broncos have to act quick if they want to get somebody that they feel would be a great fit. if all three of these people, Ellis, Fangio, and Elway, have to agree on who that person's going to be, they may be reaching for somebody that's never been a GM before. Then what? Is John Elway going to be the mentor to the GM? Well, we know Elway's track record in the last 3 or 4 years. So I don't know, guys. This has been an absolutely blindsided news development out of Dove Valley today that caught everybody off guard. Everybody. I've been listening to 104.3 The Fan just to see if I can get any more tidbits and updates. And they're saying that Elway's contract is up at the end of the 2021 football season for the Broncos. If they go to the playoffs, obviously he stays in position until the Broncos season is officially over. That being said, if his contract is up, speculation has it, and there's been some chatter and rumors from those higher up that they will not offer him a new contract and that they will just let him walk away. Maybe that's why Ellis put him in this position now, so that they can get a new GM, because he knew that he was not going to reinstate or offer him a new contract. So there's a lot of things happening now in the Bronco organization that I don't know what direction we're going in, guys. I really don't. I don't think Fangio is the right coach, and who knows? The GM comes in, he could fire Fangio. He could trade away Drew Lock. He could hire a new head coach. He could hire a new offensive coordinator. He could trade up in the draft, which is what I hope happens. Get the number 1 pick or number 2 or somebody. Get somebody in there that is a better quarterback than Drew Lock. I'm sorry. Yes, Drew Lock had a great game against the Raiders. And I'll get into the breakdown because I know that's what this is supposed to be. But I could not pass up the shocking news coming out of Dove Valley and Denver today when I started preparing for this video. That news totally shocked me, and I had to get this out there for you guys to hear. And I know it's probably all over the sports networks and over the airways. I get that, and that's all well and good. But for those of you who watch this video, I really wanted you to know first and foremost up front what had taken place at Dove Valley today. And that's all the news that I have at this moment in time. It's a very, very lucrative, very, very fluid development. I'm not sure when the new general manager is going to be hired. I'm assuming they're going to try and do it as fast as they can, because you have decisions to make. And he's going to have decisions to make. And he's got to meet with Elway. He's got to meet with Fangio and Ellis and offensive coordinator Pat Sherman, all these people, so that he can familiarize himself with the organization and to hit the ground running. And I want somebody in here who has a passion for making this team a Super Bowl contender again. I want a person in there who is not afraid to say, you know what, this isn't working. I'm getting somebody different. Yeah, it's a tough position. Yeah, it hurts to go up to a person and say, you're no longer employed with us. Sure, it hurts. We've all been down that road, guys. We've all gotten pink slips. We've all, some of us maybe have been in position to where we've said that to people. But this is a business, guys. This is a business. And yes, we as fans are fans of the team, and we get attached to players. And sometimes we get attached to coaches. Sometimes we get attached to GMs, especially if they're a Hall of Famer and a Super Bowl legend like John Elway. Yes, we don't like to see something like this happen. But I'm telling you guys, I don't like seeing what's happened these last 4 years. And these last 2 years, and the way the Broncos have lost and just the spiraling downward trend, I don't like it either. So even though I'm shocked to hear this, because I'm a big Elway fan, and I actually have a picture of John Elway and myself. If you look over my If you look over my right shoulder, you'll see a picture above the grandfather clock. That's John Elway and myself. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of his. But I also realize that there are times when you have to step aside. And I think that this is a right move. I just hope that it continues to be a right move when we go into a more positive direction. Okay, guys, let me move on to the post game between the Raiders and the Broncos. It was a great game from the standpoint that it was back and forth. It was a game that they kept you on the edge of your seat. It frustrated you at times because the Broncos created 4 turnovers and only got 6 points out of it. 2 field goals out of 4 turnovers, and all 4 turnovers were either close to the 50-yard line on the Broncos side, or they were deep into Raider territory, and we couldn't get touchdowns. But guys, that's been a year. It was the 2020 season. You knew something crazy was going to happen. Now let me flash you back to last year. If you remember last year, the Broncos and Raiders played the last game of the season, Week 17, and the Broncos had a lead again by 7, and the Raiders scored late in the game, and they went for 2 points, and they didn't get it. And Denver won by 1 point. Well, history repeated itself. Denver was ahead by 7. In fact, the final score was 32-31. Denver was ahead by 7, 31-24. Raiders scored late in the game, 24 seconds left. What happens? They go for 2 points, of course. Why? It's a meaningless game. Why go to overtime? They go for 2 points. But this time they got it. So Denver loses 32-31. But that's the way it goes, guys. It was that way all season long. We had chances after chances after chances to win, and we just couldn't figure out a way to get a touchdown and had to settle for a field goal or even miss a field goal. During the game, right before halftime, Fangio sent out Brandon McManus to try a 70-yard field goal, and it was blocked. And it was almost returned for a touchdown, but Garrett Bowles got the returner out of bounds. Otherwise, it would have been a lot worse than 32-31. Drew Lock had a really good game. No interceptions, which is that by itself is a miracle. No interceptions in the game. No fumbles. He did take a couple of sacks, and he probably should have thrown the ball away on both of those occasions, or at least a couple of occasions, but he didn't. Jerry Jeudy, who was absolutely horrendous in the Charger game, dropping numerous passes that could have helped the Broncos potentially win that game, which they lost. He had a really, really good game. He made key catches. He made, catches that kept drives alive. He made spectacular catches that he was dropping last week, and he made some easy catches that he was dropping last week. So he was more focused in the game, and that was huge. And I think that Jeudy is going to be fine going into next year. Melvin Gordon, Broncos tried to get him 1,000 yards rushing. He needed 110 yards. I believe he only got 50-something or 60, so he fell short of that. He did get a touchdown. It was a great run. It was a 45-yard run, or excuse me, it wasn't. That was Judy's touchdown that he, on a slant pass, caught it and went into the end zone. But Melvin Gordon had a really good game. The offensive line just couldn't open up holes for him, and the Raiders really wanted this game. You could see it in their demeanor. You could see it in the way they played. You could see it in their coaching. They wanted this game. And I feel and believe that it was because of the way they lost last year. It stayed, the bad taste stayed in their mouth all off season. And so you could tell. Did Denver really want this game? I don't know. I mean, at times it looked like they were playing hard. At times it looked like they were but they certainly were on track to win the game. But again, the defense let them down towards the end of the game, and with 24 seconds left, the game was over. Brandon McManus did try a long field goal to try and and that's another thing that frustrated me. There was 9 seconds left. Denver had a timeout, and they did not have a timeout. There's 9 seconds left. They're on about the 45-yard line, I believe it was. Yeah, 45-yard line of the Raiders. And all they had to do was do some quick down and outs. And if it wasn't open right away, throw it out of bounds. You would have had 1 or 2 seconds left, easily. And if you make the catch and get, let's say, 8-10 yards, now you're a lot closer for the field goal. But because Fangio, again, screwed up and sent out the field goal unit to try and win the game with a 63-yard field goal, blocked. I mean, he kicked it right into the right in the back of his own lineman's head. But he didn't. And instead, what he did was he barely got over his lineman's heads, and it was easily blocked. Game over. So Fangio just makes mistakes after mistakes with lack of game planning and lack of game management, and that was another indication. So the season's over, guys. I'm going to continue doing videos for the off season. It's still going to be called Broncos Breakdown, but the subtitle is going to be Broncos Breakdown off season. It'll be talking about OTAs. Obviously, I'm going to continue to bring video and talking about the position that we heard today with Elway being elevated to overseeing player personnel, but relinquishing his GM position. I'll keep doing updates on that. If there's any breaking news, I'll come in and do a video then. Otherwise, I'm going to schedule myself to do videos on Friday. And that way you'll have the video for the weekend and also anything that transpired during the week that is not breaking news. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. It's been a tough season. It's been a season that I know has frustrated a lot of people, including myself. But this coming Friday, right before the playoffs, I'm going to do a season-ending take on how I felt about the season, where I think the Broncos are going to go, and from here, and of course with all the GM shifting around and everything that's transpired today, I'll definitely bring any updates and new information regarding that situation. Thanks again, guys, for watching all year. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you on Friday. Have a great week, and stay safe, guys. We'll talk to you then. Take care. Bye-bye.